although decades ago they did document wolves and moose making it. Sorry, I can't stay bending over too long. I'll have heartburn. So, it's hard to see the fine detail of behavior, and the wolves can get out of sight pretty easily in Yellowstone, even though Yellowstone remains one of the best places in north of a domestic subspecies of the wolf Canis lupus for around 15 years. Actually, I think a little longer than that now. The problem is the reclassification is based on DNA, and the study of actual snippets of DNA and what the coding on them means is still a very new science. So I hear rumors and rumblings that some geneticists are marshaling evidence that we really ought to call dogs Canis familiaris again instead of Canis lupus familiaris as they are known right now. But meanwhile, though dogs and wolves are very much alike in a lot of respects.
That's a coyote.
Yes.
Go away.
The puppy stage anymore.
Want to take one home?
Not exactly puppy stage anymore. He doesn't recognize you.
I want to take one home.
With the house breaking it.
Oh.
Next Saturday they go live with the big wolf.
Yeah. That's a lot of growing in 15 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. Hello. Chased around by the wolf. Ow. Do you want to get on the bleachers and see?
Yay.
Okay.
And an attempt to open up the prairie land for sheep and cattle ranchers and relocate the native people that have been living here. The government orchestrated a wholesale slaughter of this species going on. And one bison is very twitchy, very flighty, very alert. The wolves are going to pick up on that. They're going to want to know, why is that particular bison so skittish? And that bison is probably skittish because it has a handicap of something. Maybe it's a little bit weak, maybe it's sprained its leg, maybe it's having problems seeing, maybe it's a... Look at that, we have wolves in the field. And what are the bison doing? Exactly. Bison stand their ground and they watch. This is what happens out in the wild. When predator and prey share the same geographical area, does not mean that everybody's running around helter-skelter and willy-nilly. The wolves are examining the herd. They're looking for a weakness, and if they find, got that tassel on the end of his tail. And much like cats cannot resist a feather on the end of a string, the wolf loves the rock, loves the rock. Is that your favorite rock? Love the rock. Making me dizzy. The behavior is hypnotic sometimes. I shall open it up for questions while we wait for the wolves to come back from their little walkabout. If you don't ask me questions, I will just pick somebody randomly in the audience and stare at them until they do ask me a question. So, save your neighbor and raise your hand. How strong the acids are in their stomach, but they can eat stuff that will turn our stomachs. As far as providing the wolves with food, we feed them mostly deer that have been hit on the side of the road. And as far as how old that deer can be before we won't... Oppressive humidity today is obviously putting a damper on the wolves' desire to hunt, in addition to the fact that they have not been able to find any perceived weakness in the herd. It's always sad when one of the little ones doesn't make it, at least through its first winter. Wolfgang. They like it. Sometimes our wolves get so used to having the carcasses open for them that they might not want to take the time on a hot afternoon to open it just yet. But Wotan is going to. We've been going through our backup supply of carcasses. Deer don't die at convenient intervals the whole year round. We tend to get a burst of calls to come and get carcasses in the spring and early summer, and then it usually drops way down in July and August, and then starts picking up again. So we freeze and store a lot of the extra carcasses. And we feed them during the time in the summer when we're getting very few new ones in. Rudy's doing a submissive greeting to Wolfgang. To the city dump. And they can not only scavenge human garbage, they will sometimes eat other scavenger animals that come to the dump to forage also. When the Alaska oil pipeline was being put in,